Hey everyone, thanks for joining in. If anybody is here or watching, wonderful. We kind of just did an impromptu show. We decided yesterday that we were going to do this. Namie unfortunately couldn't be with us today or with me today. I do believe she is on TikTok. This is also my last show before I go on vacation, so I won't be back until April 3rd. So remember, if you do want a reading, make sure you book very quickly because I don't have very many spots open before I'm just shutting it down for the for my vacation. I am welcoming my friend Karin Lisa to the show today. Guys, I just want to
Yay.
remind you to make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you click the notification bell. If you're not getting notifications when my show does go live, unclick the bell and then re-click it. So don't unsubscribe, just click the notification. Like if you have the notification bell clicked, just unclick it and then re-click it, if that makes any sense. Like you just want to double, like go back onto it. Remember that there is a $10 donation for readings today. And I mean, who knows, Karin, we might be just, just chit-chatting and seeing what happens, right? But
Right? Yeah.
tell us a
That's
little bit.
okay.
So what is the name of your because you're a reader too. Tell us the name of
Yeah.
your site.
My page is called In Spiritual Intuitive Insight, and I didn't want to do like psychic something or other or whatever. I just because it is in spiritual, right, and it is an insight. So I do work with spirit. So that's kind of how I came up with the name. So something different, something unique, right?
Good
Same
name,
with
yeah.
yours, right? Like yours is different too. It's not like, psychic readings by Cathryn or something,
Yeah, yeah.
something that stands out a little bit. So that's kind
Exactly,
of where my
exactly.
headspace was at. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's good. And also, guys, I did put her link in the description box. So if you do want to get a reading with Karin, you can catch her there. And remember, I am on oracleintuitions.com. So, okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about, because you've only been a reader for a couple of years,
Yep.
I
Yep.
think, right?
Yeah.
And
Professionally for 2 years. I'm like, I've always had the ability. I've always had,
mhm,
but it was more just talking to friends and going, "Oh, wait a minute, I see this," or "I'm feeling this," or "Wait, hang on." I never thought that I would be a professional reader or oracle card reader. Tarot, I can't read tarot if my life depended on it. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I just can't. And I barely read cards, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
um, yeah, I kind of got into it with a profound loss and just kind of started on my path and just kept going and going, oh, hey, I guess I'm pretty good at this. I'm okay at this. And it's helped me on a personal level, emotional level, and a spiritual level just to be involved in this. And I also am a Reiki master as well, so I tap into energies and that kind of thing. So it all ties in, right? It all ties in. So yeah.
absolutely. We were trying to figure out before the show, how long have we known each other? How did we meet and all of that? Well, we know how we
Um,
met, but
yeah,
we
12
already know how
years
we
actually. I
met.
was just thinking about it today. We know how we met, yeah. And it was kind of funny how we met actually. But it's been 12 years. I either you got hired before I did or the day before or something, and it's like, oh, I got hired yesterday. Oh, I got hired today or whatever. We were working in a wholesale beauty place, and that's kind of how we made that connection. And the connection is just gone from there. We've gone and worked at other places together as well, and I always was blown away by your abilities, and I'm like, oh my god, you need to do this full time, right? So yeah, I mean, it was good, and that kind of intuition helped us do what we were doing at the time as well, right, with our
Absolutely,
customers.
yeah.
And
It was funny because actually, I think you and there was one other person that really motivated me into going into doing readings,
yeah,
full time,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
really, kind of pushed me to go that route. And I can't even imagine not doing them.
Yeah.
or doing this
Yeah.
life, I guess, or this lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
very blessed, very blessed.
I remember one time I'd asked you to I said, what the hell is in my house? Because you were very heavily into the paranormal, Edmonton paranormal, and you're describing stuff in my home, and you've never been in my home, and I'm like, oh my God, girl, like, why are you doing this full time? Or we were at work and you get a phone call from somebody who needs an investigation. You're like, who's the guy standing there next to you that looks at you? She's like, oh my God, that's my uncle, but he's passed. So I was just, I think my head exploded a few different times, but yeah. So and I'm glad that you decided to take that route, because a lot of people don't, like, they suppress what their abilities are for fear, or persecution, or whatever. So I'm glad you went that route and just said,
Yeah,
this is what I'm doing, right?
me too.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because like you said, people do get a lot of especially around the time that I particularly started in, especially into the paranormal, because the paranormal was, I think, the only thing really on TV at that time, besides the odd occasional like UK show, or the only other show was really Ghost Hunters, I think, at that time. And even that was like on kind of some obscure channel that you had to, pay a prescription or subscription for, whatever. So it wasn't like mainstream. The paranormal was still very underground. Whereas nowadays, for somebody to say that they read tarot or oracle, or they're psychic or a medium, it's really become more mainstream. Like it's not so hidden and underground. And I mean, there are advantages, for people like you and I, but at the same degree, because it's become so out there, there's also a lot of fraud and scammers, and all of these people that will pick up. Oh, I read a tarot book. We were actually talking. There was a thread on Facebook, today, where I said there's so many people that like pick up they read a tarot book, and they're like, oh, I'm an expert, so I can do readings because I've read a fucking tarot book, and there's so many people out there. Or maybe they guessed that the light was going to turn green once. So now they're all like, oh, I'm a psychic because I guessed that,
and the mistake that they make is they read themselves, right? And then they go, oh, this is the card, and they're going to interpret whichever fits for them, right? Whichever scenario fits for them. And really, they're not really tapping into anything. They're just going, oh yeah, this is what the card says because that's what I want to hear, or that's what I want to see, right? Instead of really using their intuition and stuff. And the fraud is pretty abundant. And it was interesting. I was in the parking lot the other day at a mall, and there's these little cards stuck in people's windshields again. And I'm like, really? First of all, it's illegal to do that. Secondly, it's like, so-and-so psychic, whatever. And I'm like, okay, you're psychic. You should know not.
Those people don't want this crap on their cars, right?
And so I went in for coffee when I came out, and there was like 30 cards on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Because people are going, I don't want this. And I think that's the other thing too. If legitimate people, at least I and many other people in the industry that I know, and you included, we won't solicit people. We will not reach out or here's my card, or stick it on windshields and stuff like that, because that's not how spirit works. If you're looking for something and you need something, then spirit will draw you and guide you to whomever, whichever reader, whichever healer, whatever it is. So, if you're on TikTok or you're on social media and suddenly you get an inbox going, oh, I was drawn to your name, don't even, just delete it. Because, and then there's the copycats. I know some well-known, in the community from the States and that, and I'm like, oh, so-and-so is on TikTok. Oh, okay. And then suddenly I get an inbox and I'm like, dude, you already read me, right?
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, he's a copycat, and there's so many of them. So I mean, not to be cliche or no pun intended, but follow your gut and follow your intuition, whether or not this person's legit, right?
As
You
we're
know?
talking, I'm sitting here blocking people from my page at the same time. Because seriously, this is what happens, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so sad. If you have to comment on somebody else's live feed to say that you were drawn to them to get a reading,
Yeah. Yep.
you've got serious
Yeah.
issues. Hey
Yeah.
Kaylee, thanks for joining. Actually, it is for subscribers, so you do have to go over to Oracle Intuitions on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel, and it is a $10 donation for readings. That's what we charge for readings, so we truly appreciate you being here, and we would love to give you a reading. Again, just go on over to the page, and we will help you out. Love Tea, just make sure, it's so good to see you, Love Tea. Ms. Green, sorry. Make sure that you just tell us what it is that you need to know, or what you're asking about. Okay. Sorry, I'm just writing stuff down. Yeah, it's really hard to fight through all of this, and this is the problem, is because of the fact that there are really legitimate, um readers out there,
Yeah.
and it's just, it makes you sad. It makes you sad that you have to
Yeah.
fight through this nonsense, right? So it is what it is. I guess it is what it is. But
Well, and yeah, it is sad, but again, just like trust your instincts on, you know, if somebody says to you, you have, and being an energy worker and clearing people and stuff, when they say that you have you know, somebody's cursed you or something like that, and it's going to cost you X number of dollars to clear it, whatever, it's BS. It's BS.
yeah,
It's not going to cost you $2,000 to clear that energy or whatever. And sometimes, yes, there might be something onto you, but or it's going to cost you X number of dollars to clear your crystals. We can all tell you how to clear your crystals. It's not going to cost you anything. So that's the sad part about our industry, and it makes the legitimate ones, look bad. And I'm on a group, and it's a grief group, and there's a lot of positive, but there's some negative too. And I don't say what I do. But it's, I just say, hey, not everybody, like anything else, there's good ones and there's not good ones, and there's scammers, and you just got to be smart about it, right? And if it's too good to be true, then it is. Like, that's kind of a motto to go by. But if it's like money, oh, you have to come back, well, then that they're scamming you, right?
yeah,
Which is too bad.
absolutely,
Really too
absolutely.
bad.
Yeah, and it was funny because somebody asked me one time, why do I keep my rates, the way that I do? Because I don't charge a lot for readings. Like an hour reading is $85, and I've kept it that, for a couple of years now. I mean, I might raise it at some point, whatever. But the reason for that is I have had readings with people where I have paid, more than that. And sometimes I've walked away really unsatisfied. Like, because when you do a reading with me, I want people, first of all, to be able to afford it, because I've always hated these, this industry where there used to be the Sylvia Browns or the Matt Fraser, whoever they are. And it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get a reading with them. And second of all, you're on a waiting list for sometimes years, like 2 years to get a reading. And for me, I don't, I mean, you know what, you might have a wait for sure. You might have a wait. Hi, Fire Girl 66. And but the thing is that most people can't afford that. And they are, here's the thing, is that a lot of people, especially when they're in a place of grief, they will throw that money at whatever it is. Like they will, because they're so upset, or they're in such a
Yeah.
place of sadness and grief that they're just
Yeah.
reaching out anywhere for an answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for them to throw a few $1,000s at something, to them they're feeling like maybe they'll get some sort of answer or relief. But the thing is that there's so many people out there now that can do, you know
Yeah.
like I'm a medium.
Yeah.
You get in messages, we know mediums. Even if, let's say, somebody didn't come through for me,
Yeah.
then I have a network of people that I know I can
Yeah.
send this client to without taking their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, without
Exactly. Yeah.
taking
Well,
their
that's
money,
that's
and just go, look,
integrity.
I can't read for you for whatever reason. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen very, very often. Like, that's very,
Yeah.
very, very rare. It's usually like somebody might be holding on to a lot of, negative energy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't,
Yeah.
maybe they're just not open, or maybe for whatever reason,
Yeah.
the reason isn't for
Yeah.
me. But when you have that network of people that you know and can trust, and you can send
Yeah.
them to, maybe somebody else, or look, sometimes you can say, look at, this is all the insight I'm giving you. But because everybody reads different, we can
Absolutely.
sometimes give them another person that might have more information for them than
Yeah.
we have at that point. Like, I know
Yeah.
with me, with medium readings, I might get something completely different than somebody else is going to get. But at the same time, that information isn't wrong. It's just that
It's
for
just
whatever
different. Yeah.
reason, the spirit
Yeah.
is going to be maybe more clear with me and less clear with somebody else. But the thing
Exactly.
is,
Yeah.
when they come through for me, I give you something that you would never know. That there's no way that I'm ever, ever, ever going to know. It's not
Yeah.
something that is it's something that there's absolutely no way that I would have that knowledge of, because it's not my knowledge. It comes from that
Yeah.
person
Yeah. It's
completely and
not something
directly.
that you could go look up on Facebook and get that information.
No,
Yeah.
because even if
Yeah.
I discover their Facebook, the message that's going to come through is
Yeah.
going to be
Is going to be
it'll
different.
be-
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
like,
and that's the beauty of I find it fascinating how different readers read. I'm blown away by it because I have different strengths. At mediumship, I can do it. That's not my strength. I can pick up, I can get, certain little things and in depth, but it's not really what I do. I might get, okay, what, okay, I'm seeing flowers. Like, you got to go look at the flowers. Oh, he was a gardener. Okay, that's awesome. Or, I'll get images, but I'll be like, you know what, if you want really in depth, I'm probably not the one to do it. So I
yeah,
have ABC, I have all these different people, and they're all very gifted, and they have, you know, they're not to say better or worse or whatever. It's just that's stronger for them. So I would prefer to send them to somebody else than to just take their money and go, oh, okay, yeah, you had an okay reading. But
yeah,
um, I find that when I do readings, quite often is I'm picking up on different energies, emotions, because I'm a physical empath as well, so I get messages through that. Um, but I'm also, so I do kind of healing, and then sometimes I'll pick up on past life. If they're talking about an emotion or a phobia or something, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like spirit's showing me this or whatever, and so I'll see this scenario of a past life. So it's all very different. So I end up combining a lot of it in my readings, and I don't just read people. And I don't know if that's a flaw or so I combine kind of everything, and I usually ground people too, because when you're grounded, it's just easier for me to pick up your energy better. Um, but
oh,
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by how other readers read, or some, I
Mhm.
have a friend where she's like, oh, I can read spirit for you, but I can't read spirit for me. Like, it's harder, right? And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do readings? Like, you do it all the time. She goes, yeah, but it's easier for when I'm talking, but I can't, like, so I think that's a confidence thing too. But it's like, of course you can do it, So and I always say, even in my other profession, it's like the reader needs the reader. right? You need somebody else to read you sometimes, because we're not objective too when it comes to ourselves. So but yeah, I find it fascinating. I think it's really cool.
Absolutely.
And so many different abilities and skills that people have. And there's other things that I'm going, okay, I know nothing about this, so I have to look into it. And okay, I know somebody that can do that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty wild, and I found, since I got like really into my spiritual side of things, that those people start gravitating towards, and then you build your community of people, right? You build and I call them all soul sisters and soul brothers because they're kind of like-minded. Some of them are readers, some of them aren't. Some of them are healers, and some of them are just readers or mediums, or or a combination of all. But you kind of find your group, which is pretty cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? We do have a reading here to do. This is for Love Tea. Her name is Love Tea, Ms. Green. And the man she's asking about, his name is Robert. I believe it's Robert, or is it Richard?
Okay.
Anyway, she just asked, why did he go silent out of nowhere? And what's his thought process in regards to me? He's a Capricorn. I'm an Aries.
Okay, just give me a second. And it's Robert?
I believe so, yes.
Is there I'm picking up, I don't know, like something to do with mental health? I'm picking up something like he's not really sure which avenue he's going, and I don't think it's specifically her, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
There's something else going on with him mentally. Okay. It's not her specifically. Like that's what Spirit's showing me, is like not a crisis, but just like something's happening with him on a mental scale, and that's why he's backing off and like almost protecting himself, regrouping.
Love Tea, are you watching at all? Are you still here? Maybe we'll give her a second to see if she's here.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. I'm just going to put it up on the screen because sometimes she has to come back and forth. So
yeah.
I'm just going to actually ask her. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay, I'll just put that there. And then love to, when you do see this, just respond. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Okay. So Karin has a question for you if you can listen. Maybe you can respond to this. So ask her again.
Now I can't even remember what I asked. I'm feeling like there's a mental health, like a regrouping of his mental health, and he's just backing off and like almost protecting himself, but not her specifically, not you specifically, if that makes sense. Like I'm not sure if he's going through something or something, like I said, not a crisis, but something happened where he's just like, I need to protect myself, mental health, and he may not even be 100% aware of it, that's what he's doing. If that makes sense. That's just what Spirit's showing.
There's just a bit of a delay, so it might take her a minute to, respond.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so this is interesting. Yeah. I told him I wanted to talk, and he went silent. That's all she said.
Well, there's avoidance there too, right? There's a little bit of avoidance, and it could be with what else I'm picking up on.
She doesn't know if he's going through anything at the moment.
Okay.
When was the last time you talked to him? Love tea. Yeah. I think it was a few months ago, from what I remember. Okay. Oh, yesterday. Okay. Okay. That's cool. All right. Have you guys been communicating since, like, over the last few months or whatever? I'm getting some really clear messages here, but I'm just waiting, and then you can continue as to what else you're getting there. Karin.
Oh, I'm getting like avoidance is one of the main things. Like he's just avoiding, doesn't want to deal with what she's asking or what she wants. He's just backing off. And but I still think that there's like, I just keep getting mental health.
She says last month or so, but I've been standoffish. So when they have communicated, she's been, kind of standoffish. So.
Well, and that's you listening to source, your intuition as well, protecting yourself as well.
Yeah. Do you get anything else for her?
I'm just, I don't know if there's somebody else in the background, but I'm picking up another energy around him as well. And waiting. I don't know what he's waiting for, but he's waiting. And testing the waters. It's like he's testing the waters of this other person because he's dealing with whatever it is that he's dealing with. And that's why he's avoiding and backing away. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. She said she wanted to talk to him about where I stand and the fact that I am not as happy. And she says someone else. She's asking someone else.
Yeah, I'm getting energy of somebody else in the distance.
Okay, is this like a love? Okay.
Yeah, like he doesn't like conflict. He doesn't like, and yeah, he doesn't like the conflict. So if you're asking him questions about, where do you stand, all of that, he's shutting down. Because I'm just feeling that there's somebody else in the background.
Okay. She's just asking if it's romantic.
I'm getting not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm actually getting, I'm getting things a little bit differently than Karin is, and that's okay. So the cards that I actually pulled through with the energy that was coming through, I actually got the Hangman, the Strength card, and the Eight of Cups. So when this comes through, I do feel that he is in this place where he has taken a little bit of a step back. I feel like what is happening here is I do feel him trying to gather his strength. There does have something to do here where I don't know exactly what he's dealing with. I'm not really the only other person. So when we talk about another person, what I'm actually getting here with that is I kind of feel he's trying not to put, I guess the best way to say it is he's trying not to put anything as a priority simply because of the fact that I feel like he's not quite ready for what it is that he knows that he does want with you. So what I'm feeling with that, it's sort of like somebody that the best way to put it is that somebody's on like Instagram or something and talking to several different people, but none of it is serious. There's nothing happening anywhere, but it's almost as though kind of like what Karin said with avoidance. So I am getting avoidance simply because of the fact he doesn't really know what to say what the next step forward is, all of that. I'm also really getting that he's gathering his strength. He's gathering his own personal, I don't know if you guys are still in school, but I am getting the 8 of Pentacles, so it's really showing me like a lot of working energy. He might be really trying to study, or if he's trying to pay attention to his next step. I'm also getting a lot of individual energy, 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. So this is very much energy where somebody is very focused, self-focused. And this might be why he's not wanting to step forward or say anything, because he really can't offer anything at the moment. Or, I feel like the next time he comes through, I feel like the energy needs to be a little bit more kind of playful, but not playful in the extent of, losing your own dignity or self-respect or anything like that, because I know you wouldn't do that. But what I mean is not being too like bouncy on him, like we need to talk right now, because I do feel this energy returning. I do feel him bringing back his energy to you, but I do feel that he might wait a little bit in regards, because of the fact that you do want to talk. I still feel that he does want to talk to you too, but I feel like also he's got a lot of shit going on. Like there's a lot of things that, I'm going to actually say it like this. There are some people that can multitask amazingly. That, they can, like if you look at, a lot of moms or, some men that can multitask amazingly, right? They can do this, they can do this, they can do this. He's not one of them, is what I'm really getting.
Yeah.
He's not one of them. And
was easily distracted.
Well, it just feels like he's really avoiding, Jesus, this stupid thing. I can't get this off. Oh, there we go. Okay, guys, sorry. I was just deleting a comment. That kind of nonsense I just put on the screen, they're the ones that I'm getting rid of. I'm blocking. Just
I didn't see it.
He says to the point that he can't hear what I have to say. I feel that I feel to him, what he's assuming is that there's going to have to be a decision made from that energy, from that talk. He doesn't quite know what you want to talk about. And, like you do want to ask him, where you stand, the fact that you're not happy. I feel like this is a conversation that he does want to avoid at the moment, because there's not a lot that he can really say about it at this time. Again, I do feel like he's really, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. The bonus of this is, okay, January, February, March, April, May, so June. I do feel June. Okay, I know that's a long ways away. I'm also getting it might have to do with the fact that maybe school's done or whatever, May, June. But look at this. It's coming out. 4 of Wands, Knight of Cups. I do feel a return of that energy coming towards you. Okay. It's also talking about having faith, like the Hierophant coming through. But again, I feel like this individual energy needs to be with yourself. And, right now he's working on that individual energy. This is something that you need to do as well. Simply because of the fact that this is going to be, I know you are mentally exhausted with this man.
That's why it's important to look after you.
That's actually a good place to be. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not so much when we're tired, we're just so fucking done with the waiting. And it's not even so much the wait. It's like this, like get your shit together, the energy, and I totally get it. Like, you're just so fucking done. Like you're not done with them. You're done with the next thing, or the excuses or this or that. It's like, can you not just get your shit together and let's just get this on and let's get going with this, or whatever it is, right? Like I completely understand. But that's actually a good place to be, because what that does is it really pushes you into this place of now being self-focused. and allowing yourself to do what needs to be done for you. And it also opens up the energy in case somebody else wants to come through. Or what it does is it also clears the energy between you and them. So it's almost like just sort of erasing them at this point. Like literally, even write his name on a, if you have a blackboard, or if you have a, like, write it on your phone, fucking erase it. I know that sounds horrible, but you're not erasing them. You're erasing that energy that has
Yeah.
been, you've been hanging on to, or that has been challenging you for such a long time. And when you do that, it really allows you to clear that slate, move forward. They're doing the cleansing or the healing or whatever it is that they need to do, and allows you to kind of be in this place of open energy to receive them. Or maybe perhaps somebody else might pop their head through. You never
Yeah.
know, right? And I mean, here's the thing: a lot of people, and I've been there. Like, why would I want somebody else? Okay, I don't want it. You know what I mean? But I know that you're moving forward in a, you know that you're moving forward in a place of freedom within yourself. And that's going to really make a lot of difference. She says
Yeah.
transparency important to me. If you
Yeah.
wouldn't have told me, love, I'm not myself right now, I could have understood. The lack of respect to instead
Yeah.
of by ghosting is really my last straw. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes it is that simple freaking conversation that they could have. And for whatever reason, it's ridiculous. But I like I said, I do feel the return happening. I do feel, the energy where he's pushed back right now. But I do feel this returning. It could be actually right away, but I'm going to just be on a level of, you know um for safety's sake, I guess, as far as the reading goes, I feel around May to June. Okay, it could be a little sooner than that, but that's what I'm getting. Okay, yeah. I hope that helped. I hope that gave you a
So
little bit
I
of
I
clarity.
pulled I pulled an oracle card for her. I did pull one
Mhm.
card for her, and it's the moon energy. I don't know if you can say
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And it ties in with everything that you're saying too, Kathy. Pay attention to your intuition, and time is moving ahead. Move ahead confidently. So focus on yourself, and your energy, and if that energy of him comes back, then you're going to be that much stronger, and you're going to see things a little bit clearer, a little bit more clarity. Do I want to do this? Do I want that energy? Or have you shifted and moved above from that energy? It's, but just know that the power is within you, and you have that energy to move forward and go, you know what, good for you, standing up for yourself. I'm worthy of respect, and I'm not going to put up with that. So move ahead with confidence. And when he gets the shit together and he comes around, then it's entirely up to you whether or not you go, okay, let's give it another shot,
Hmm.
or you know what, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for the lesson, and move on.
Yeah.
But I think it's very positive, though. I think it's a very positive thing, and a positive change for you, and a growth for you. If that makes sense,
So,
that
guys, I just
resonates.
want to remind you that readings are by donation. You can donate through PayPal or e-transfer if you are in Canada. The email address is crogers5555@gmail.com. We really appreciate you being here. We really appreciate you watching the show. Make sure that you are on the Oracle Intuitions channel on YouTube if you do want a reading, okay? Because we don't normally read people off of Facebook. You have to be a subscriber on the YouTube channel. And you're so welcome. I love to. I understand, where you're coming from with the frustration. I 100% get it, but you know,
But good for you. Good for you to see that, you're standing up
yeah,
for yourself too. That's awesome.
absolutely. So we got another reading here. Will, can you tell me what do you mean by all this stuff happening? Is this good or bad stuff that's going on right now? Because I'm not quite understanding what's going on. So if you're watching, Will, could you just respond to that, please? Like, are these positive things or
Pertaining to what?
So Will's question is, why is all, he just wants a general reading, but also why is all of this stuff happening towards me ever since I started letting go of friends, family, coworkers, and others out of my life?
So he's letting go of these people?
Yeah, he's letting go.
Okay. Um, uh, because he's changing his frequency, he's changing his
Yeah.
vibration. So, and he's loving himself. And when you start doing that, you see people, you see that energy of other people that doesn't resonate with you, so you're backing away. So it's self-love. It's not about hate, it's not about dislike, it's about loving yourself more. You can still love those people, but you don't want them in your circle. And that's why change is happening. And when you're changing, it can be really messy, and it can be very emotional as well. So there's always something good. If it seems like there's bad things happening, it's actually a change in that energy. So there is something good that's going to be coming out in the end, if that makes sense, if that resonates with you. But I always thank the universe if people drop out of my life for whatever reason, because they're not meant to be in my circle of energy. It just doesn't jive. So look at it from a point of view of gratitude and thanks that you're changing and that you're evolving and growing and healing, and that's always a good thing, and that's always a positive in the end, for sure. That makes sense. I know I kind of rambled,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's
I
what
keep
you're
hearing
picking up,
from,
Kathy.
yeah, I just keep hearing from spirit that it's about time. Like this needed to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
And
funny because I turned the deck over, Ten of Swords, like a lot of endings are happening right now. And these are endings that will bring in a different energy. Hey, Heather, how's it going? And hi, Jessica. Make sure, guys, to give us your question once you've donated. And anybody that does wish a reading, please just make sure that you follow the instructions that are going across the screen at the moment. So yeah, also things are really balancing out for new beginnings. So Will, this is really, really nice positive energy. A lot of people freak out when they see the Ten of Swords, simply because of the fact, like if you do know tarot, just simply because of the fact it talks about endings. It's an end. It's done. It's over. But at the same degree, when something's done and over, there's always a new beginning, right? Like the sun, if we look at the Ten of Swords, which I mixed up in my deck, so I can't really pull it out right now. Oh no, there it is. But if you look behind him, there is positivity, like things are shining, things are, there's renewal within those swords. It's not like, they're just dead and buried. They're actually giving him life energy. They're renewing him. And so what's really happening here is because your vibration is rising, you're going to notice a difference. You're evolving. You're evolving, Will. But what happens is when we evolve, not only are we raising our vibration, however, you're probably going to experience some negativity and some positivity, okay, as you're raising up. A lot of people will say that it's just positive energy, but what we have to remember is that cleansing energy that we have that's coming through us. So it is still going to cleanse us. It is going to remove some of the energy that we have kicking around or hanging around us. Oh, okay, Will's at work, so he'll watch it later. But this is really positive. This is really positive, is what I keep getting. You are ascending, is what I'm getting. And here's the thing, Will, is you're going to be getting a lot of messages coming through. Now, it's almost as though I feel like you need to do some chakra work on yourself, and you can probably do this just off of a YouTube video, something like that. Just rebalance your chakras, give them a little bit of kick, rebalance them, because I feel like what's happening, if we imagine ourselves, let's say, as a sink and it's full of like dirty dishwasher, let's just say, okay? when we can rebalance our chakras, what we're basically doing is pulling that plug at the bottom of that sink and allowing that junk that was in the sink to really flow out. Okay. And it really
Yeah.
flows out, and it really, what it heals with is brand new, light, balanced, you know, different energy. This is energy that's going to ascend you even more. And this is where you're really going to start noticing those super positive changes. I feel like there has been positive things that have happened, like things that have just, um, blown your mind. Like you're like, holy crap, like I can't believe this just happened. And it might be little things, but that's okay. Might be little things. But when we notice those little things get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this actually is what will, it's funny. I remember back when I was like really starting to manifest back in the day, and I would say to myself, okay, I'm going to manifest a butterfly, and then a butterfly would appear. And then you're part of your brain is like, yeah, but it's summer, of course there's going to be a fucking butterfly. You know what I mean? So you just manifested what you wanted, but you're doubting yourself because you manifested what it was that you wanted. So it makes no freaking sense, right? Or you tell somebody what you manifested
Because we're
and
human.
you're all excited, and somebody else is like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's summer, man. So, of course you're going to see a butterfly. And then that takes away your self-confidence in that. And so what we have to remember is that we are constantly manifesting. Whether we like it or not, we are constantly manifesting.
Yeah.
Always.
Whether it's
Always.
good or bad. Yeah.
Right?
So
People think of
always make your thoughts count.
People think a manifestation is just rolling around in money and having, the best freaking love life on earth, like, Romeo and, well, let's not use Romeo and Juliet because they killed themselves, but other whatever. but but the thing is that we are constantly manifesting all the time in the back of our head. And so don't doubt your manifestations, whether they're good or bad. Change the manifestation if it's of a negative one. Change that manifestation and start really working on that subconscious. But also what I'm really getting for you, Will, is to clear out those chakras, because now that you are ascending, you might have some old stuff that's still kicking around and it needs to be cleared out. So I hope that helped. I hope that
with
you
clearing your
some.
chakras. Yeah.
What's that?
Just with clearing your chakra, I'm told, just with, because you're telling him to clear his chakras. What I tell people, that the most profound tool in spiritual work is intent. So if you have the intent to clear, and then you're already starting to clear. But what I'm seeing is your heart chakra is really kind of closed off a little bit. So you need to get them spinning, and get that going, and just allowing source energy to flow through. Just sit, meditate, intent. What are your thoughts? If your thoughts are positive, then the intent is positive. If it's negative, then we can manifest the negative as well. So I think there's a little bit of a delay from Facebook.
Yeah, just a little bit. And thank you so much, Will. We truly appreciate it. Anybody watching, if you do want a reading, make sure that you do donate, or look at the information going across the screen. It does tell you how you can donate. Also, make sure that you are a subscriber to my channel on YouTube on Oracle Intuitions. And thanks so much. Hi, JL. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Charlotte. Thanks. And thanks to everybody who's started watching. Hi, Louise. Thank you. All right. And Fire Girl, or the Fire Girl 66. Make sure that we have your question. Okay. We need to know any names that are associated, and also just first names, please. And also, I like to know people's sun signs. So, whether you're just give me whether you're a Leo or whatever it is that you are, and the other persons as well, please. Okay, so we have Jessica. So Jessica's relationship is with Cameron. And he is here in America, just to give you a little bit of background. And she's overseas. Um, she they have made plans to see each other to spend time together. But there hasn't been communication from Cameron for the last couple of weeks, so she's just wondering what's going on. So
Does he have a really demanding job?
yeah,
Like, is it high stress?
yeah, I know that one
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah. High stress. I'm getting that he needs to watch that high stress, like his and I'm feeling it in the heart. Um, yeah, that's part of why there's not a lot of communication, because his focus is work. And but yeah, what is it? Like, there's positive energy around the two of you, and it's not it's not that he's forgetting you or anything like that. It's just that his job is yeah, his job is, I don't know, I'm just feeling like overwhelmed, like really overwhelmed. And I'm almost seeing him like he's going to reach out, and then something else happens and he's getting distracted, and then he deals with that, and then he goes back to reach out to talk to, and then like he keeps getting pulled back. He needs to figure out what his priorities are. And the job, I don't think, I'm just feeling that it's not good for him. Like, his health is going to suffer from that. But I feel like there's a really good connection between the two of you if he can just prioritize and time management. Long distance relationships are not always easy. I would look into his health, and that's kind of the focus. And he may not be aware that his health is suffering because of it. I don't feel like there's anything serious yet, but he needs to slow down. He needs to just ground, and he's not grounded. He's like all over the map right now. And almost getting into like that healing mode, the two of you in a place of spirituality as well. And clearing the negative thoughts that you may be having, Jessica, as well. Sometimes when we're consumed with certain things, and that's what we're going to manifest, and that's what we're going to draw to. So try and just sit quietly and just purge those thoughts, those energies that are surrounding that, because it's almost like you're manifesting something that isn't happening. Like we kind of internalize and go, and we think the worst. So try not to think the worst of what's happening, of him just not being, or him just being distracted right now. So don't think the worst. There's positive energy around the two of you. So don't worry about that, but don't focus on what you think might be happening, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah, I'm really getting here too, the same thing. I just keep getting that I feel like he wants to have an actual conversation with you, not a half-ass text, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Jessica. I do feel like some of that energy that he's going through right now does have to do a little bit with your past conversations, where you may have mentioned to him that, and you can just clarify this for me. You may have mentioned to him that you actually want to have full conversations, not like, quick stuff, because I feel like there's an energy here where he wants to actually communicate and talk and set, the plans in place and stuff like that. But I feel like he's a little scared of coming through, because if he just comes through with, hey, got your message, or, something small or silly, that there's going to be a whap across the fingers on, for him, that, like there's going to be a disciplinary kind of energy like anymore. And so it kind of feels like there is some energy that's coming through like that. Um, I wouldn't give up on this man for sure, because I do feel that he wants to come through. I talk, but again, I picked up on the work last time too. When we talked to you, I think it was on Saturday when we did the live show, and I said pretty much the same thing that Karin had already said, is that there's a lot, like, it just feels like his work is really busy right now, or something is going on, or there's some sort of maybe a contract that's happening. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's really overwhelmed. I got a lot of overwhelmed energy, and I'm still getting a lot of that overwhelmed energy, to be perfectly honest. It really feels like
I keep getting deadline. Like there's like an urgency of, like, there's a deadline and I got to get to this deadline, and he's not grounded. He's just a little over the map, all over the map.
Yeah. And I also feel that I still feel him coming through fairly quick here. I know, I don't even know what day is this today. What is this, Wednesday? Yeah. It really want, I know you've already reached out to him, but I would, in a nice way, like, even, hey, hon, is everything okay? Or, something along that line. Yeah, he works for the Formula One. Oh, they have a lot of deadlines. Yeah. Because it does feel like, something is going on here with his work, and it just feels so overwhelmed. But again, I really do get this energy of him wanting to actually have like a real conversation with you. A real conversation, so I hope that helped. I hope that gave you a little bit of clarity here. I just okay,
I just feel if they can get face to face, if
well,
they like
time or something like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know if you can fly to him, or
well, that's what she's trying to do. Yeah, she's trying to do.
Like, just to regroup and reconnect with one another, because the energy around you two is actually quite positive. It's very positive, and there is the connection, I feel, is beyond the physical. You guys get each other. It's just that distance is causing that. What's happening, I can't, like, and we start to spiral in our thoughts sometimes. So hang on to the fact that there is that connection, but if you can, reconnect face to face, in person, then I think it's going to solidify a lot of things. And then there's changes. There's going to be, like, I feel like there's going to be a change once you guys can reconnect. There's going to be, one of you is either going to make the decision to relocate, is what I'm getting at some point.
I think actually Jessica's trying to relocate right now. Jessica's trying to relocate.
Okay.
To the States to be with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, Jessica, try and remain positive. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Focus on the work. That's 100% what he's doing right now, but things will work for the two of you. You'll see. Heather. So Heather is a Capricorn. Zach is a Libra, and she's just saying, checking in on current energies between me and Zach. They haven't had any communication for a little bit, but
how long has it been?
I believe just over maybe a month or so. They did take a break, but then they did get kind of back together. Not back together, but they did spend some time together, and now it's just been a little bit quiet.
Okay, excuse me a second. I feel there's a connection between the two of you. Like, it's pretty strong. The Spirit's telling me a soulmate connection. Now, understand that soulmate connections aren't always romantic, but but it's definitely a strong connection between the two of you. And it's okay to regroup and take a step back sometimes, because Spirit's saying sometimes we don't know what we have until we step away from it and realize, hey, I really miss this person and I want to be with this person. Yeah, just give me a sec.
There's like, Cathryn, you have a great memory. Some days.
So, just like I said, I don't always pull cards, but I felt drawn to pull a card. So it's the Chariot card, and stay strong and focused, and charge ahead. So charge ahead with your feelings, charge ahead with the relationship, but also, make sure that you're doing what's right for you. And again, I feel like he's a little bit distracted, and you guys just need to come together. You just need to be open. You need to be honest. Be very forthcoming with him and your feelings and what you want out of the relationship. Don't be afraid to say, this is what I want. This is, I want communication. I want honesty. I want, all of those things with him. And you'll pretty much know where he's at once you're straightforward with him. But you have to be true to yourself. Don't shy away from, oh, it's okay. Like, it's okay if he didn't call me, or it's okay, that kind of energy. This is what I want. And in a nice way, but not demanding, but just be forthcoming, and know exactly what you want in the relationship. You make your list, and don't accept anything less from him. Is what
100%, and this is 100% that. So I know the background, with Zach and Heather, but
Okay.
that is the main thing, is don't accept less. And I do believe that Heather's, sort of in that place where she's, she knows this now, like she's recognizing it. Again, Heather, here's the interesting thing. Why am I keep getting, like, I don't know if you've started, working on your stuff, like the human design and all of that, but Heather, I'm telling you, get your freaking ass in gear, even if this is just for you. Okay, even if it's just for you. She did, oh good, she did Reiki last night. Excellent. Yay. Because
Nice.
it really needs to happen. Like I just keep feeling, even if you're not, getting a business or whatever it is, I just keep feeling at the very least this needs to happen. So whether you post little videos, or whether you, start back up, or, in the business, or whether you're just offering it to friends or family, whatever it is, it just needs to happen, as I just keep getting that push towards it. As far as, Zach, oh my gosh, this guy, if he could pull his head out of his ass for 5 seconds and look around, he would be a really happy man. Like, seriously, like, it would all of a sudden be like, holy shit, you mean the world wasn't black? Like, inside of this butthole that I've been looking at, like, because that's literally where he, like, if he literally just pulled his head out of that butt, he would see the sunshine and go, oh my God, is this what the world looks like? Like, oh my God, because that is where he tends to get himself into. He gets lost in this vortex of nonsense and crap, and lost in his head, and all kinds of, junk that he's got flying around there. And I mean, this guy needs like Adderall or something to freaking focus. Like, seriously, But what I keep getting is, amidst all of his space dust that he's got roaming around up in the noggin here, you are a main focus, which is interesting. It keeps coming through with that. I keep seeing your name flying by in all of this, like I said, space dust that he's got,
Well, he's, you know what, Spirit's showing me, I'm seeing an anchor, that she is his anchor. Like, she's the one that grounds him.
Yeah.
But he needs to stay grounded, and he needs to understand that that's like you said, once he pulls his head out of his ass and goes, oh yeah, she's it. She's the one that makes me the better person, or
Right.
brings out the positive energy and the good energy. And yeah, you're his anchor. You're his yeah.
I'm
You're the one
actually
that
hearing
grounds
from
him.
spirit that this could be why they're pushing you to so much towards, because I felt like they were being
Yeah.
fairly silent before, because remember, I've been telling you for a few months, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And I couldn't really figure out what the purpose was, except for, that way you're focusing in on yourself and all of that. But I'm also hearing from spirit is because of your connection on that soul level, is doing this stuff for you originally really brought him in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you were very focused in on yourself. It brought him in. But here's the interesting thing is by doing this and focusing in on the Reiki or the human design, whatever it is that you're doing, what it also does is it helps to ground him and look at you. He knows you're the anchor, but does he know you're the anchor? Does that make sense? Like, he keeps seeing your name fly around his head, and he feels that connection. But when somebody's really, really ungrounded, or really, really lost in space, I guess the best way to say it, it's hard for them to, they might see the names, they might have an understanding of some sort, but it's also really hard for them. They either feel in this place of, I'm not ready yet, or I can't yet, or I've got to figure this out first, or I've got to do this first. And there's always an excuse of what they have to do first. And I call it an excuse,
Mm-hmm.
not because they're making excuses, but in their head, it's like, it's always one thing after the next, right? And nobody's ever going to be in that perfect place. I mean, nobody. But it's almost as though by doing this work, it helps him realize and start seeing your name instead of all of the space dust and crap. He's going to start seeing your name or feeling that energy even more and strongly, because I still feel him coming through. And I'm not wavering on that. Like, I still feel this energy between the two of you happening.
Mm-hmm. I
So
almost feel like with the things that she's doing, that he's, like you said, he's coming to her for that. But I almost feel like he's going to get involved, like more involved in that,
he doesn't have
more of
anything
the,
to do with that. I don't even know if he knows that she does that, to be honest. He came to
but
her,
that's,
like,
yeah.
she started
Okay.
doing it, for herself and for other people.
Yeah.
And, like, they just met, randomly, like, not anything to do with that though. But I feel like it, because of that work, it helped clear her energy to allow the space
Absolutely.
for him to come in.
Yeah. But I feel like he's going, like, once they're connecting a little bit more, that he's going to dig deeper into all of that and then start his own healing
That
as
would be cool.
well,
Yeah, that would be cool.
because
Yeah,
of her, right? So that's a good thing. That's cool. I'm getting chills with that one.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Give it a little bit more time, Heather. Look, I literally pulled up that faith. Faith. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I just picked it up off the deck. So, I mean, have faith in the in the faith. Right?
Cards don't lie.
Yeah. So, I hope that helps. I hope that gave you some clarity, sweetie. Angela. So, Angela, if I dive into your parents here,
I can't read her because I know her.
yeah, that's fine. Um, and you're so welcome, Heather. You're so welcome. She says this was very insightful. Thank you. You're so
Awesome.
very welcome. Um, Angela, first of all, let me know that you're here. And then second of all, I'm going to need you, because when I do medium readings, I need you to understand something, is that I'm going to get random messages that you might not understand, especially at first. Okay. Because when I do a reading, especially for mediumship, it's not like the person comes through and is like having an entire full conversation with me. They usually give me little things, and if they don't make sense to you, that's fine. These are going to be things that only you are going to know about. Okay. And I think I said that earlier, but we
Yeah.
got to remember that these are things that at some point that they also like the person that's passed over is trying to let you know that they're there. And it might be from your childhood, it could be from your teens, it could be like there's basically going to be something that comes through that is going to be specific for you or maybe for them that you will know about. Okay. And so the first thing I actually felt, and this had to do with your dad. And again, I just need validation or clarification on some things here. No, they don't want to yell at you there, but I am getting here. Oh, for fuck's sakes, these people. Kate, if you are planning on, not you, anybody that's really watching the show, but if you're a spammer and you're contacting these people, I'm literally going to block you, and I'm just so done. I've deleted like 10 people already.
Yeah, that's
anyway, so I need to ask you a question. Does a yellow animal have anything? I keep feeling yellow animals. So remember, this could be a real animal. It could be a stuffed animal. It's a yellow animal. I felt like maybe it was a cougar, but it was like that sort of maybe shape or something. It doesn't need to be a cougar. I just keep getting something about a yellow animal, something about your dad. I also heard, but this one I'm hesitant about because this could have been, I might have been thinking about something else at this point. So I'm kind of hesitant about this one, but I'm not sure. Something about a red rowboat. Do either of these things, are they in any way related to you, or do you understand what it is that I am talking about when it comes to this energy? Remember, I mean, roles can be reversed. Maybe it did come from your mom, but I felt like your dad. Also, you don't need to try to make it fit. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, but really take a, like, kind of not really, yeah, yellow or like a tan color. Okay, so she's saying no. Okay, that's fine. Also, the other thing that I got through, because if I can't tap into your parents, that's okay. The other thing,
actually, I'm going to interject just for a sec. The red rowboat, Angela, did your parents, like what spirit is showing me is the boat on the ocean, and it's your parents in the rowboat. If that that's just what the image that I'm being shown.
Oh, tan German Shepherd. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, like it was just like a tan or a yellow. Like when I say yellow, I guess for me it's like, I don't know. I really don't.
It's a brown. Well, I mean, a golden retriever is kind of brownish yellow, right? And so, right. And then there's yellow in German Shepherd as well, like that tan.
It just kind of felt like an animal that had. But when the reason I mentioned cougar is because I would feel it would be more like a cougar type of color, but about that, like what I could see on it was definitely a larger four-legged animal. I guess that's the best way to say it. But kind of the coloring I felt of, or had coloring in it of like a cougar. That's
yeah.
And then again, like the red rowboat. So I just needed to check on that. And was this your dad's dog, or was this dog special to your dad, or like was this a dog that you guys grew up with? And again, this has nothing to do with the dog. I don't feel the dog coming through. I want to clear that off. What the reason that I get shown these things is because these are from your loved ones who are trying to say, hey, do you remember this incident? Or do you remember, okay, so she's saying yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because, like I remember one time seeing a stuffed rabbit on a bed, and that made total sense to somebody, you know what I mean? But, and that was probably when they were like 4 years old and they remembered the stupid animal. So family dog, grew up with him. Okay. So that's why. So the other question I got to ask is something about your mom. I kept hearing daisies, but I also heard dishes. So I don't know if this is daisies on dishes or if this had to do with like if dishes are separate and then there's daisies. I literally even drew a little daisy here. I don't know why. But does this make any sense to you? I don't know if they're connected, the dishes and the daisies, or if the daisies are separate from the dishes, but these are the things
Or
that
they're
I
on the
heard.
dishes.
Yeah,
The
or it could
daisies
be
are on
daisies
the
on the
dishes.
dishes
Yeah.
or dishes
Yeah.
on the daisies if she was that
Yeah.
talented. I don't know.
Yeah.
But something about dishes and daisies. Make any sense? I don't know if she gave you dishes or if you had dishes or there was particular dishes. I'm only going with the image right now because it's not until okay, so she knows what she's talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean? Can you just explain it to me a little bit just so I have a better understanding? Because she knows what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
um I just need to know because like she's really babbling about this and I'm not like it's but there's not clarity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this. Okay, yes, she did. Yeah, she did what? Oh, did we disappear?
Yeah, you glitched. I probably glitched too. Um a little bit.
Family dinner's fine, chat. Oh, okay. Okay. So did those dishes have daisies on them? I'm just I don't know what the daisies where they came from.
Angela, be specific.
Yeah. It helps.
So yeah, that red rowboat. I'm seeing the two of them in the water in the ocean. In this red rowboat, or there's a red rowboat at the shore, and they're there.
Yeah, I felt it sitting on the shore. Flowers, but
Yeah,
close enough. Okay. All
yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah. So I don't. I yeah.
Okay. I felt this rowboat sitting on the shore.
Yeah, just like on the beach, but it kind of
Yeah.
yeah, just not in the water, but just yeah, like
So
close to the water.
with your father, I do feel there's a bit of she gave me a decoration of a child with daisies on a swing. Oh, daisies for patience. Oh, okay.
Nice.
So she's absolutely giving you the that reminder coming through. Okay, is what I get for that because she was very like it when she told me about the flowers. She didn't say just flowers. Like it was very specific about
Specific
daisies. So
flower. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not really sure about the red rowboat. Like I said, it popped in my head, but I wasn't sure about it because it could have been something else that I had been thinking about previously. And sometimes that happens, is like I'll just
Yeah.
be randomly thinking about who knows, or it could be somebody else that comes through. It didn't feel very strong, but I did see a red rowboat on the shore. But if it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to you, that's okay. I do feel an absence with your father, some sort of absence, and I don't mean like he was completely absent. I just feel like he wanted I I he might be showing me the dog because he
Replacement.
like like a replacement for, you know what I mean, like I can't be here so here's the dog,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
or something along that line. But I do feel a little bit of an absence. I don't feel that the absence was intentional though. I don't get that, and like not intentional. Like I don't feel like he wanted to avoid you, or if he was, in that energy. He's watching Dr. Phil and ignoring the reading. What does that mean? And ignoring. I don't know what reading is. And ignoring. Oh, he's watching Dr. Phil and ignoring the reading. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Is but
Yeah.
he's passed away.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He is.
That's kind of funny. But yeah, it just feels like to be honest, I don't know. Maybe you can verify this with me. I do feel like there's some sort of did he suffer from mental issues of some sort, or like this could be like, I almost want to say it could, because of, especially because of the age, I'm assuming, like a lot of times mental disorders, back then weren't completely very like validated like they are nowadays. Like everybody has freaking ADHD and shit, right? But what I'm really getting here is that there seems to be, like he's telling me he's trying, something wasn't always good, and nothing he did was good enough for somebody. And I don't know if this was your mom, or if this, you know what I mean, it could be other family members, it could have been his parents. I feel like there was an energy of him trying for some things, for a lot of things, but at some point he gave up. And I feel like that giving up had to do, it might have even happened before you were born, like, to be perfectly honest. And I don't mean that he gave up, but there's an energy here of him stopping trying to appease, or it's almost like I did the best I can, and I'm still not freaking doing enough. And that's the energy that I'm really getting from him. And again, I'm not sure where this energy is coming from. It's obviously not from you. I'm not getting it. He's trying to tell you that, I feel like some of that energy, or some of that absence, or some of that disconnect was because of this from, this could be his childhood, his teenage years, his early life, like,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not sure if this is his parents, or I feel like it had to do both with his wife, like your mother, and maybe possibly like his parent. Like I just feel he very well could have had undiagnosed ADHD, maybe even a little bit of depression that was in there, that again undiagnosed, because we never think of our freaking parents, especially when you're our age, we don't think of them as being depressed. That didn't exist back then, so how can they be depressed now? It didn't exist back then, right? Like that's the way that we tend to look at things. And I do feel that he had some, there even could be a little, I'm hearing Asperger's. He could have even had a little bit of Asperger's, which is, obviously that's not the word that they use now, but I'm hearing a little bit of, does this make any sense to you, Ange? Because it really feels like like he's trying to tell you something. I do feel that there's a sorriness in here from him, but at the same time, he wants you to know that's not for him, that's me, perhaps. Oh, perhaps depression. Okay. I do feel that for him coming through is what he's trying to tell you, though, is that he's telling you that he's first of all, he's perfectly fine. But did you really mourn his death in some way? Like, was this a hard mourning for you, I guess? Was this a hard time? Because it feels as though you might have slipped a little bit, like slipped in your energy for some reason. Like,
she responding? Yeah.
Sometimes she's kind of responding.
I can say for certainty, yes, you're absolutely right, Kathy. Yeah. Just because I know the story, right? Like, I know her personally.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels like what he's trying to say to you is, I keep really hearing too, like the past is gone. Like stop with the past.
Yeah.
This is really, really, really important. Stop with the past. Hang on to the positive and the happiness and the memories that you have. But there's a cycle or a circle going around you.
Yeah.
You gotta get rid of. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because there's so much more better to come than there is of this. That you're it's almost as though you release the void, or you release the energy of this, but because you're so used to the energy being around you that you don't like the void of the energy not being around you, and so you bring that energy back in. And that's really what he's yeah, count your assets, not your liabilities. Yeah, it just feels like this is what he's trying to remind you of. But again, it just feels like when you have that emptiness because you're not hanging on to the negative energy, you bring the energy back so you don't feel the emptiness. But here's the thing, it's not empty. It's not emptiness that you're feeling. What you're feeling is new and bright and ascending energy, and that's where you need to start focusing your time with. Okay, it's okay to be in a place of a void. It's perfectly fine to be in a place of a void. Um this is where new things start coming through. Now I feel like with your mom, was your mom a really super positive person or something? I don't know, because I don't know if she was super positive or if she was the type that like oh, it's okay, everything's fine. Like, I mean, the whole world could blow up and you're like, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. I can't quite tell. Like, because it kind of feels like she dismissed a lot of stuff or let a lot of stuff go. I'm not, if you can kind of clarify that. Oh,
She's a very strong woman.
Okay.
Very strong. And because I've read her before, I've read her mom before, and she pretty much, what she said went, like, so she ruled the house. She not militantly but with pure love and
it just feels like she kind of dismissed a lot of stuff or whatever, but that's not.
She didn't dwell on the stuff that was insignificant. Like, it was okay, let's get on with it kind of thing. Yeah. And her dad, he was a perfectionist with his job and what he did, and he was a busy man too. But yeah, her mom's pretty cool, even though I never met her. She's a pretty cool lady.
Yeah, like
I've read her before.
This is somebody that you could definitely, I'm not sure what you're saying. Oh, hell no to. I'm not sure.
This is a woman I wish I'd met personally.
Right. Yeah.
Like that. Like, I would have gotten along with her.
It feels like if it's not, like, basically what I'm saying, like, if it's not important, like, why are you focusing in on it? Like, just let it go.
Exactly.
Like, okay,
exactly.
Like, let it go. Let it go. Like, it's not, that type of energy. It just feels like, okay, like, what are you doing? Like, don't hang on to this. Like, stay positive. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
They're perfectly fine though, Ange. Perfectly fine. Obviously, you know that they love you. Here's the thing. If it, now it doesn't mean that just because if I couldn't tap into somebody, it doesn't mean that they're not fine. It just means that they might not really have anything to say or they just can't come through. But when people come through with a validation of some sort, especially like I said, the dishes, the daisies, like these are things that were, to some degree very important, that even the dog, when people come through, they're already telling you that they are perfectly fine because they wouldn't come through if they weren't. They absolutely love and adore you. They're with somebody else up there too. Just give me a second. Is there a younger male? Because I see, I'm not sure who this is. Younger male, maybe between them kind of thing. Like, I just feel a loving energy. I don't know who this person is. Does this make any sense? Does that make sense to you, Karin? I'm not sure.
Not really. I know, well, I know of a couple people that she's connected with that are on the other side, but I don't know about.
Yeah, I want to say teens to 20s. I'm not sure who this is. But I do feel that their energy is up there as well. She knows who this is. Okay. It is a very loving, it kind of feels like it's between them. Can you clarify to who this person is? I want to say it could be like a son. It could be their son. It could be your son. I'm not like, I don't know who this is. I hear son. I don't know if they lost a son. I don't know if this was a brother or if this was maybe an uncle that they lost, or like one of your uncles that you lost at a
young age.
young age. Or maybe somebody like it. Yeah, teens to 20s. Yeah. I can't be specific because they look like they're showing me a look, that they're between the teens and the 20s. I want to say early 20s. Could be a more immature 30, but I don't think so. I'm gonna stick with the teens to the 20s, like somewhere in there. But it does feel like this person is, I want to say, kind of, like I said, kind of between them, or it could be a relative of some sort, maybe somebody that passed away younger, type of energy. It could even be somebody, but they they are coming through. Oh, for God's sakes. How about an immature 60? Oops. Immature 60-year-old. I don't think so. To be honest, I'm not really sure who. No, I don't. I mean, unless the person is, trying to come off as being a younger person, but it could be my little sister who passed with them. Um, It could be a feminine. However, the only way that it would be a feminine is if she is what I guess more of a tomboy. If she was more of a tomboy, because this is bringing off a masculine energy of some sort. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense. Like a lot of times, no, it's my sister. Okay.
If that's the energy of, because here's the thing, it's not necessarily somebody that is always connected to it's not necessarily always family, but what I'm getting with the energy is a brother, like a younger brother on her dad's side. And I don't like, when I see them, I see him leaning towards that side, whether it was a really good friend that was kind of like a brother, or family, like felt like family, but passed at a young age, like a younger age.
Was your dad in the military at all? I'm not sure if she heard me or not. The reason I'm asking about the military is it again, I'm getting this weird energy about there could be my cousin Martin in Germany. If he was close to your parents or your father, especially, it could be. I feel like only you would know. I guess that's the best way to say it, because it just feels as though Hitler Youth Army until my Nana hauled him out. Yeah, okay. Because this person, I'm going to be honest with you, it could have been from that time period. Okay. And it feels like that he knew this person around when he would have been similar age, and I kept hearing like army, like that's why I had to clarify with you. This boy might have passed away at that time period, but it does feel like he's coming through for some reason, showing me that he's with your father, even if you have no idea who the hell he is. I don't know why. I don't know if your father ever talked about losing a friend at that time period, or if there was ever a friend that, he did maybe perhaps lose. again, I'm not sure why this person is coming through. Usually it's only something that, usually that's Pop in the Army. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm not sure what she's saying here because it's not very clear. But
Okay.
what's that?
What did she say?
She just said that's Pop in the Army.
That's her dad. Her dad in the Army. And like I think you're right about the person, that he knew this person and they were the similar age, and the reason he's showing you at that age is because that's when he passed. During that time, I mean, it was high conflict that time.
Yeah.
You know.
He lost many in the war. Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is, I could go, like, I could end up spending an hour doing this, and I can't, I don't have the time right now. But I just, I hope that helped. They are fine. They're perfectly fine. Your parents are good, and the thing is that they do come around, and I feel like you already know that. I feel though that sometimes I feel like sometimes you feel like when you need them that they're not there, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might feel, how come they're not here when I really need them? But they really are there for you. They're just also kind of letting you work things out or let you become stronger, I guess is the best way to say it. But they are there. I hope that makes sense to you. So, yeah. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Unfortunately, I do have to go, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Karin, how can people reach you?
They can reach Facebook on my page in Spiritual Intuitive Insight, or they can see me on my personal page, which is Karin Lisa. Can text me 780-893-1999.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Okay, and guys,
Kathy, for this. I appreciate it.
oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And maybe we can have you on the show again sometime soon. That would be great. And thanks to everybody watching. Please, again, make sure that you please click like, go to my actual Oracle Intuitions page, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. And again, if you aren't getting notifications, just unclick the bell and then turn it back on again, because sometimes the notifications will just be weird off of Facebook. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We will be back, or I'll be back probably like the first or second week of April. I'm going away. Wish me well. I need this vacation so bad. I cannot wait to go, and take care, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning
Thank
in,
you.
and have a great week. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.